20, 22, Psy coming back.
There was a time when people all over the world danced the same dance. The song's humorous choreography and delightful melody overturned everyone's expectations and gained unprecedented popularity, recording 4.4 billion YouTube views. This song is Psy's
Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style.
Currently, he owns a building worth about 1,650,000,000 Philippine pesos and directly established his own agency, P Nation Entertainment, to train younger musicians in parallel with his own musician activities. Today, he is living a successful life as someone's role model, a proud father and husband. But before he came to this position, he had to go through a lot of adversity. Psy, real name Park Jae-sang. He was born on December 31, 1977 in Seoul. Growing up in a wealthy family, he dreamed of becoming a musician at the age of 15, when he saw a video of Queen performing at Wembley Stadium. After graduating from high school, he enrolled in Boston University's Business Administration department, following the wishes of his entrepreneurial father. However, he enrolled at Berklee College of Music without his family's knowledge. To become a musician, his long-cherished dream. After that, he dropped out of Berklee College of Music and returned to Korea to work as an amateur producer in an online music club. He made his own music, dreaming of becoming a musician someday and performing like Queen's Freddie Mercury, but at that time, everyone thought that his ugly appearance would not make his debut in the Korean music industry at the time, which was full of hot looks and beautiful voices. But even though no one paid any attention to him, he believed that his efforts would pay off. One day in 1999, he finally received a miraculous call. The head of an agency praised Psy's voice in a song that Psy had featured, and it was said that he wanted to sign a contract with Psy. When the opportunity he had been hoping for came, he went to the agency with an overwhelming heart. However, what he met there was the disappointing gaze of the head of the agency, who said that his voice was impressive. He wondered if his ugly appearance would rob him of his dreams. However, after many twists and turns, he finally succeeded in making his debut with his first full-length album, Psy from the Psycho World, in October 2000. People who met Psy for the first time also ridiculed Psy's appearance. But soon they began to take an interest in his music and performances. The provocative lyrics in his songs gave people a shock and refreshing feeling. In addition, Psy showed unprecedented performances, such as wearing a sleeveless tee, which was taboo in Korean men's fashion, and performing sexy and bizarre choreography. As a result, Psy became a representative character of the bizarre culture that was popular in Korea at the time. At the time, the Korea Communications Commission considered his unconventional steps to be inappropriate and warned him several times. But the bizarre singer Psy was still popular. In the same year, at the end of 2001, Psy was about to release his second album. But it was discovered that he was smoking marijuana and was arrested by the police when the day it was scheduled to be released. In the end, the release of the second album was delayed. He was sentenced to a fine as a first-time offender and was suspended from broadcasting by the Korea Communications Commission. His second album, released the following year, was also not very popular due to negative perceptions of cannabis. After that, Psy spent a time of reflection. He felt like his dreams, everything he had built up, was shattered by cannabis. But soon, a miraculous opportunity came to him again. At the time of the 2002 FIFA World Cup, when all Koreans stopped their main job and were cheering, Psy also stopped his main job of reflection for a while and came out on the street to cheer. His appearance was accidentally exposed to the media, and this became the trigger for his image to change positively again. After that, Psy's third album, released at the end of 2002, became a sensation, and he successfully returned to broadcasting. However, in 2003, Psy was enlisted in the military as an industrial technical agent, and his singing career was once again put to a halt. to explain one thing to you. Men in South Korea were required by law to serve in the military for a certain period of time. Among them, those who have certificates related to some specific fields can perform alternative military service in industries, which designated by the government. In 2005, after completing his military service, Psy appeared in front of the audience again. However, in 2006 something shocking happened. Psy appeared on a Korean TV show and mentioned that he had attended concerts while working as an industrial technical worker, which revealed that he was not properly performing his assigned duty. Eventually, in 2007, he was enlisted in the army again under public criticism. Going back to the military is something that everyone is reluctant to do, to the extent that South Korean men use it as an example of a prank joke or a terrible case. It's like being circumcised twice.
No! God, please, no! No!
Therefore, public opinion about Psy was not very negative, because he admitted his mistake and paid the price for it proudly. After his second military service, he finally returned to work. 1 year of marijuana, 1 year of reflection, 3 years of alternative service, 1 year of trial, 2 years of military service. After 8 years of inactivity after his debut, Psy ran into numerous reefs, but he continued his career as a musician. Contrary to the bizarre image known to people, he has a good heart and has a very wide network of people. In fact, he once donated 500 million won to a pediatric ward at a university hospital in Korea. In another anecdote, it was later revealed that Psy had paid the entire funeral expenses anonymously after hearing the news of the death of a fellow musician. Therefore, the public's evaluation of his personality is sharply divided. Also, Psy's stage manners and service during performances are famous for being unparalleled in comparison with other musicians. His all-night stand concerts always start at sunset and end after sunrise. So, it is said that all the audience are satisfied with the concert and go home without any regrets. Because of this, even when he was embroiled in controversies, there were many people who believed in him and supported him. With the help of this network, he appeared in numerous TV shows and entertained people for a long time, and he has collaborated with many musicians and presented various genres of music. Representative musicians who collaborated with Psy are Lee Seung-gi, IU, and G-Dragon. In addition, Psy has collaborated with famous singers and entertainers representing Korea's contemporary times. He overcame many hardships before and after his debut, but he was still far from the title of the best musician. Even at that time in Korea, he was just a typical singer, and he could never be called Korea's representative musician. Then, in 2012, the big bang that made him a world-famous musician occurred.